All right, welcome to everyone this evening. We are so excited to have all of you. This is our fourth Tuesday of the month, HEAT Leadership Team. It's geared towards our sales coordinators and above. And we are really excited tonight because we have the honor of hearing from Megan O'Brien. She is a brand new QNMD out of Tucson, Arizona. And I was able to kind of network and meet her through Steve Shapiro, who's our regional director. We have several other close sideline friends, and we do a lot together. So I know she's totally going to bless us this evening with her training. And Megan is a mom of 3 daughters. She's been married for 10 years. She graduated with a degree in exercise physiology and spent 7 years as a director of cardiac rehab in Tucson, and 15 years as a personal trainer, which is when Juice Plus came into her life. And so she is going to explain a little bit of her story before she gets going and just share with us why it made perfect sense. And we are so excited to hear from her because we want to hear from those who are in the field, in the thick of it, and they're making those promotions. And she is one of our 2020 big promotions. So we're excited to hear from her. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Megan.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that intro, Alexis. It's been so fun working with you, and I feel really honored to be on this call with you guys tonight. My name is Megan O'Brien, and I have been actually in the Juice Plus business for 8 years now. It has actually flown by, but I was introduced back 8 years ago by a nutritionist, and I happened to be pregnant at the time with my first child. So it made sense to me because I was juicing every single day at that time, and to be able to get it in a capsule made complete sense, but working in the wellness industry, I definitely was blown away by the research. That is what really stood out to me because I had seen so many different products come into where I worked, and really nothing was backed by any sort of research. So I took it into my OBGYN's office and said, hey, is this okay for me to take? She actually knew exactly what Juice Plus was. She said, yes, absolutely. So I started taking it, but I did it only for my pregnancy, only for this baby that I was growing. Didn't think I needed it because I kind of, was eating salads and juicing and doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing health-wise. That's something that I was trained to do, really. But it wasn't until about 8 months after I started taking Juice Plus that I had kind of this epiphany. I went to an event, somebody mentioned bronchitis, and it clicked that winter that I gave birth to my baby was the first winter that I had not gotten bronchitis. And we're talking my whole life, I've been plagued with asthma issues, and anytime I would get a cold, it would turn into a massive bout of bronchitis. That literally put me in the emergency room many, many times on steroids, breathing treatments. And so to not get bronchitis 1 year, it was incredible to me. And so long story short, it's been 8 years now, and I have not had bronchitis once. My body has been able to fight off any cold that comes around. It hits me for maybe a day or two. And now 3 kids later, I took Juice Plus actually as my sole prenatal for my second 2 pregnancies. And they're a healthy bunch of kids. So I just love what I do. And I didn't really embrace the business, I'll be honest, right off the bat. I didn't really know what I didn't know. So it took me a few years to really start to become intentional about my business. Looking back, I wish I would have started earlier, but now I absolutely love this journey I'm on, and I love my team that I'm growing, and just the impact and the purpose behind what I get to do now is just absolutely uncomparable to anything that I've done previously. So I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm able to share my screen, right, Alexis? Yep. Okay, perfect. I'm going to dive into a little bit about what I have done with my team. And one of the things that I love doing is creating fun within my team. I love creating that fun culture. I love doing challenges because People come out of the woodwork for a good challenge or a little competition. And I love to just see our businesses grow. I love to support our entire team. I love to walk with them in their journey through personal growth because that's a big part of this. And for a lot of people, doing social media is a personal growth journey for them, and doing three-way calls. But I also want to help them grow our team competency, make them feel more comfortable doing these and doing three-way calls. So a couple of things that we're going to talk about today is just doing some team challenges. So I'll talk about what I do with my team and Facebook Live, and then I'll talk a little bit about the outcomes of those. Okay, so here are some examples of some of the Facebook Live challenges. So this is actually one that we just did in March, and it was going live on Facebook using one of our Juice Plus products between March 1st and March 14th. And this one was each person who does the Facebook Live gets a mystery gift, and the most creative Facebook Live gets 25 bucks. And people love this one. I set really clear parameters on this. We talked about kind of exactly the do's and don'ts on doing Facebook Live. I'll talk a little bit more when I dive into that. The three-way call challenge that we just did in April, this could not have been better timing. I actually did not even know that our this blitz was actually going to happen, but the fact that we did this three-way call challenge right before the blitz was perfect timing. It could not have been better. I'll talk a little bit about the outcomes of that as well. And then these are little flash challenges. I like to do these and pop them up every once in a while. These are usually 24 hours, and usually I don't do any prizes with this, but we just have fun doing it. Everyone comments below when they've completed it. Again, I provide really clear, concise guidelines of what not to do, what to do on social media. I provide examples too for people. And then if I feel like I'm not getting a lot of engagement, I'll just reach out to my team directly and go, hey, do you see that Facebook Live challenge or that flash challenge? Are you going to do it? Let's do it. I know you can do this. What do you want to do it on? And I also will pin these. So I think that's kind of important. I pin these to the top of our page so that they don't get buried, because a lot of times they would just get buried. So I pin each one to the top while it's going on. And what I use, I really like to create these posts with a lot of color. I like to draw attention in. I use an app on my phone called WordSwag. If you haven't used it, it's a free app. It's super easy. Trust me, if I can do it, anyone can. But you can create these little posts in 5 or 10 minutes. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So this is our Facebook Live challenge, and I'll just talk a little bit more about that. What I found was doing this 14 days or less is really kind of the sweet spot. If you go longer than 14 days, sometimes it loses a little bit of its excitement and steam, but usually 14 days is a good time frame for people to still stay engaged. And again, I'm specific on the coaching. So what to do, what not to do. If you're talking about the Tower Garden shakes, we want to bring value to people. So if you're talking about the Tower Garden, what is it about the Tower Garden that you love? Why did you choose to buy one, or why are you going to be purchasing one? What about the shakes? Why do you like the shakes so much? We do a lot of smoothie bowls in our house. So I'll do Facebook Lives with our smoothie bowls and showing my kids. And then the mystery gift. So people really, really love the mystery gift, and it was not anything big. I did not break the bank whatsoever. You can give gift cards, you can give little tchotchkes, but people just really bought into the mystery gift idea. And then I always do a shout out for all my team who participates at the end of the month in our monthly recap. So this is our three-way call challenge, and this was big because I really feel like social media and three-way calls are one of the biggest tools to building your business and being successful in our Juice Plus business. So if we can become more comfortable with both of these, our business is just going to go a lot faster. And these are also both very efficient ways to build your business. So again, the first 14 days of each month, and I had my team reach out to potential customers, existing customers, so that was a really big one. Some of the verbiage that I use with existing customers is, I need to do a quick customer care call with you and my business partner. Would you be open for about 15 minutes? Which day works better for you, Wednesday or Thursday? And we give them basically 2 options. But utilizing the word I need to do, that is usually, we've never had anyone say no, because they go, oh, you need to do that. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll help you out then. So they get on a call, and it's really incredible. I'll talk a little bit more about those existing customer calls, but those are actually some of my favorite. And then we do potential business partners, people who got 7 or more 3-way calls within that 14-day time frame received a $30 shopping spree to our Juice Plus promotions. Okay, so these are some of the flash challenges that I do. I usually don't do these in the same month that I'm running a 14-day challenge, but I'll just pop these up every once in a while. We do kudos on the team page. It really does create a lot of excitement. It shows leadership. And most of my leaders do these because they want to duplicate, what they're doing to their downline. Again, I give specific ideas and for posts. So lastly, some of the outcomes that I found from doing a lot of these is, I have people that come into the business that fall somewhere on the scale of they've never done a Facebook post in their entire life to I post every day, 5 times a day on social media. And I've done that my whole life, and it's not a big deal. So I really try to move people from having that kind of fear of posting or fear of Facebook Live, which a lot of people actually do have a fear of Facebook Live. So we try to overcome that fear and make it fun. They realize it's not the worst thing. They actually might have had fun. When they're done, they call me and they're like, I can't believe 300 people have actually watched my video. They're pulling in people that they didn't even know were on their Facebook feed, who are now reaching out to them, asking them questions. And it shows their own team. Your team is going to duplicate what you do. So if you're doing social media, your team will probably do social media. We have fun doing them. They create momentum and really build confidence. So when you start to put people into action, they start to see that momentum and they see things coming back towards them. And that gives them more confidence to do it more often. Especially for the 3-way calls, we received a ton of more customer orders, new customer orders. And a lot of these actually came from our existing customers. I had one of my distributor who said, hey, would it count if I got somebody on the phone who wants to cancel their order? They've pushed it out 3 times. I know they're going to cancel. Will she count for a 3-way call? I said, sure, let's do it. Put her on the phone with me and let's talk to her. By the end of that call, she had moved her order up. She wanted to start it again. And she had added an Omega order to hers. So basically what we did was reinforce the importance of Juice Plus. I shared my story really quickly. I reinforced the importance of the routine and really what it was doing for her body that she may not have felt. And that creates a lot of impact for the people. Another thing was just exposing people to the business. So a lot of the people that I talked to who were existing customers did not have any clue that there was even a business opportunity at all. And so what my team got to hear me do is they got to hear my verbiage and how I exposed that person to the business opportunity. And I did it in a way that was really gentle and caring and kind. And they thought, oh, that wasn't so bad at all. And so now they feel a lot more comfortable having conversations about the business with people. My distributors actually start to learn how to do 3-way calls just by being on these. When you sit through seven 3-way calls, you get a real good feel of how to do a 3-way call. I actually reached out to a couple of my QSCs who participated in this last challenge a couple of weeks ago. I said, do you feel like you could do a 3-way call with anyone on your team? And they said, yes, absolutely. I feel like after doing that, I could do my own 3-way calls. One distributor in particular actually gained 2 brand new partners from the 3-way calls. So 2 partners in 2 weeks. She got another 2 Vineyard blend orders, a new shake order, an Omega order, and these are all from existing customers. And we got even more from potential customers. And then another neat thing that comes out of these is we uncover health concerns that maybe have never been exposed. So my distributor said, I had no idea. I was friends with this person for years, and I had no idea that her husband had heart disease. But I was able to kind of ask some questions, these high yielding questions that uncovered some concerns that they have that maybe they never expressed, or maybe it was never asked. So we were able to give them additional support and resources so that we can help them through their learning process on that. One of the things that I didn't mention down here that I just wanted to touch base on is one of the things I've noticed that doesn't work quite as well, this is trial and error, is doing these big challenges that basically at the end it's a raffle. So I think my team really loves knowing that there is something, if they complete what's been asked of them, they will receive something, whether it's a mystery gift or a $5 gift card. It doesn't really matter how big or small it is. It's really more about receiving something in the mail and knowing that they've been appreciated for actually accomplishing whatever the challenge was. And one of my team, I have to just mention this at the end here, you know, there is such a ripple effect that comes from this. One of my distributors who completed the challenge, I sent her her mystery gift with a card, and she received it, and I was just bopping around town with my husband, and I noticed that she went on Facebook Live. I go, oh my gosh, she's doing a Facebook Live. That's cool. What is it? And she had never, I don't think she's ever done a Facebook Live that's been on the business or our community or our mission. But this Facebook Live was specific to how accomplished she felt and how appreciated she felt for a challenge that she did, and how thankful she is to be a part of such a great community. And she's so thankful for this business as well. And that just all came from a card that I sent in the mail and a small gift, you know, for her completing her challenge. So there is a lot that comes out of these challenges. The ripple effect is pretty cool to see that kind of spread throughout the team. So that's really my, that's my nutshell. Do you want to open it up to any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Megan. Does anybody have any questions for Megan?
Megan, do you want to stop your screen share so we can all see you?
Sure.
Great, cool.
I have a question that I'll ask. So you just made QNMD, and a lot of times when you're running for like those really big promotions, you know, you have what is going on like that 30 to 60 days, like right before. So as your team was making that final push, what were some of the things that you guys were doing kind of along these lines, but just in general?
Well, that happened to fall in the November-December timeframe, which is kind of a crazy time for most people. You know, they've got all the holiday stuff going on. We did a lot of focus on Tower Gardens, so that was a big push for us in that time frame. I don't even think I did any challenges, to be honest, in December, because it's just such a tough month for people. I think I might have done a flash challenge, but I didn't do any full-fledged challenges. You know, to be honest, it was just my whole team knew how close we were to getting to QNMD, and everyone just kind of jumped in and started to run with me. So, but I do know that we focused on the Tower Gardens, and we focused on our existing customers and seeing, you know, if anyone wanted to add some new products, in addition to, of course, acquiring new customers.
Thank you. Heidi has a question. She asked, at what level do you have your team members do their own three-way calls for their business?
I think that depends on the distributor, to be honest. You know, I have some QSCs that I feel would be ready to go and to do their own three-way calls. Of course, I would coach them on it a little bit more, even after this three-way call challenge, just to make sure they really feel comfortable asking the questions and comfortable with any questions that come up. But typically, I would say my SCs are pretty much ready to do the three-way calls.
So, Megan, what kinds of things are they doing on the live Facebook? What are there typical things that they're talking about, or is everybody really just unique in what they decide to do?
Well, we did that in March. So one of the suggestions, I gave a couple of suggestions. So I said, you know, it'd be a really cool idea to do a healthy version of the Shamrock Shake. So you can basically, share with them that you're using your plant-based protein powder that you love because it has the prebiotics and it's got the fiber in there and it keeps you full for a long time and your kids love it. Maybe say a couple of those things, pop it in with your mint leaves and your spinach so it turns green, and your vanilla. So you've got your shamrock shake right there. So that was one of the things that was a suggestion. And then for those people who had tower gardens, I said, let's do some tower gardens, get your tower garden set up and just go out and introduce them to what it is. Give maybe 3 minutes of what the tower garden is, what you've planted in the tower garden, why you love it. One tip that I always say, when you're first starting your Facebook Live, introduce yourself, number one, but always ask a question. So ask, hey, where are you tuning in from? I would love to know where in the country you're tuning in from. Can you comment below and just say hi so I know who you are and I can connect with you? And so what that does is it helps, number one, it facilitates that connection, but it also boosts the algorithm within Facebook so that, more people will see it because you've got more interaction going on. So that's one thing that I always say, just start your Facebook Live off with a question.
Valerie had a good question. She asked, at what level do you recommend team members do their own challenges versus encouraging activity within your larger organization? So are they all coming from you, or do you have some of your stronger teams doing their own challenges?
I have several of my SCs putting challenges up. Yeah, so two of my SCs, I would say, do challenges every so often. They'll put things out and I'll work with both of them. If there's a ton of people who come in and if they're people direct to me, then I handle, the gift or the mystery gift or whatever that is. And if they're direct to that person, then they handle it. But usually we just do it as a team. But there's a couple of my SCs who will do some challenges.
And then we all want to know what your mystery gifts are. Can you give an example?
Yeah, so I love Pura Vida bracelets. That's one of my favorite. I love the company, love it, love it, love it. And they're just cute and they are thoughtful. So I buy things that I know, they had some that had a cactus on it because I live in Tucson. And so I sent it just as it was supposed to be a memory of going to Phoenix Live, but I had those. And so Pura Vida bracelets, gift cards. I really do collect things throughout the year. So when I see something really neat go on sale, I buy a few of them and hold them for the right person and the right time.
Hey, Megan, this is Chris. I got a question for you. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay.
I can.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Great call. Hey, I just want to point out something. I hope this flows right. So you had a little push in November, December, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a challenging time to do it. So congratulations. So I'm guessing that led to the highest volume you had so far in your Juice Plus business. Is that accurate?
No, it's actually gone up since then. Yeah.
No, here's what I wanted to say. At that time in November, December, they did a little push and your check went up. Your volume went up, excuse me.
Correct.
Then your check went up, right? Because of that.
Right.
And then you sustained it. That's what you kind of answered it before I got there. January, February, and then March, we all went up. So your check has been, since that one push, has been ever increasing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to point that out as a point of these unprecedented times. You started early in the sense of you had that November, December, which is perfect. But just to remind people, when your checks go up, they have a tendency to stay up. So you are the perfect example. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, once you create that momentum and you get a lot of people running alongside of you, everyone starts to catch the momentum, and as their business grows, so does mine. So it's a really great team effort.
Yeah, it's the fun part.
Yeah.
Okay, Carolyn asked, how do you keep track of what everyone does for the challenge? Do they just comment on the post, or do you have another way of keeping track?
Yeah, so for the 3-way calls, I hashtagged it. I have a little monthly calendar right here, and I just write down everyone's name who's doing it, and every time we do a three-way call, I put a little hashtag next to it and cross it out, and that's how I kept track of that. As far as some of the other ones, I had the people who were sharing on social media let me know when they've done a social media post. I asked them to even like tag my name underneath it, like in the comments, so I would make sure that I would see it, or just let me know when you do your Facebook Live, because I want to also help their algorithm and watch it myself. So they let me know. And then the flash challenges, really, we don't give out prizes for that quite as much, but I just ask that everyone makes a comment underneath the flash challenge itself on our Facebook saying, hey, I did it. And so people really get into that.
Awesome. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions for Megan while we have her on? I have one more. Sorry, does anybody else want to go? Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. This is Aileen. I'm like blacked out. Sorry. I have a question for you. So I know that you do all of these really cool things with your team, but do you ever do like social media parties? You know how they have like those private parties and you can invite a whole bunch of people to come and you just like talk about your product or sell different things in it. Does that make sense? Have you ever been in one of those?
You're not talking about watch parties, are you?
No, they literally, it's almost like it's an invite. So you go in, you create a party, and you can literally invite a whole bunch of people that you think might be interested. And what will happen is you can actually host other parties for other people. So let's say you have someone who is taking the capsules and they're like, oh my gosh, these are so great, I love them. So you like do a little party, and then what happens is they'll go to your link and they'll shop from your link. But I know it's a little bit different because we don't really do shopping from links, I think. I'm sorry, I'm new, I don't know exactly how it all works. But I just wasn't sure if that's maybe something that you have done or think about.
I haven't. I have never heard of that. I've heard of watch parties. I've heard of Facebook parties, but I'm not exactly sure what that's definitely an interesting option though. And I would love to learn more about it.
Yeah, I think basically what it could look like is, Eileen, is what you're saying is there are companies that have like when we do a wine and wellness online, when we do a salad in a jar party online, and we talk about our product online, like the thing that we saw, the event that we saw Jennifer Savalas do, and you invite a bunch of people to it, like just a home party, but via Zoom. We do that all the time, Eileen. The only difference is there's not going to be a link at the bottom that takes somebody to somebody's website. Whoever invited that person to the party could then send that person their own link. So we do in-home parties, if that's what you're asking. We do them all the time.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. All right.
And Megan, I just really want to thank you. This was a really great, simple. I love the. I mean, I've heard this before, but sometimes when you do it really concise and your slides were this kind of invite and this kind of flash party, it really was really useful for me. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And word swag is amazing. I use it all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Megan. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you, Nikki, for putting this all together for us and running the show from that backside. I think Nikki will probably unmute everybody so we can all give Megan a real big thank you as we wrap up. Thank you, guys.
And just a really quick thing, tonight at 7 o'clock, we have a Take Healthy Back event. It's a 20-minute event, basically. They're really just conversation around our product. It could be a party, Eileen. You could invite a ton of people. We do it every Tuesday night at 7, every Saturday morning at 9. And it's the place where you do want to invite your friends and family. And we're going to be doing that tonight at 7 on this same channel. And it's really going to focus a little bit tonight, I hope, on a little bit more on the shred. And you're all welcome to come on board. And I'm going to unmute everybody and just give Megan a really warm heat thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
Wow, Megan, thank you so much. Massive love and respect. Great job.